going to click on Enable Editing, even though I don't plan to edit them. So what I can see is that I have on the instructions, the first thing I'm supposed to do is to edit the file name that is the starting file so that it has
instead of a 1, a 2. Now I'm going to go into File Explorer, and the starting file is this one. And I could edit it right here, but what I'm actually just going to do is open it up. So I'm just going to double click on it, and it's going to open it up in PowerPoint. And then I'm going to do Enable Editing. And then I'm going to do File Save As. And I'm going to save the file in my ITE 152 folder that I saved my work for this class in. So let me just go here. And let me just go here. And then I'm going to throw a 2 here at the end, like so. And then I'm going to click on Save. And so that accomplishes the purpose. Now you'll notice that it puts my name within the file name. And I mentioned earlier as well that in the Cengage MindTap system, they have a digital signature that you can't see. It's not in the file name, and it's not even a header or anything like that. Even down here, you can see the file was created especially or specifically for me. But they have a digital signature here that whenever you submit a file, it checks to see if the digital signature, which you can't change inside of the file, matches your account. So it puts this digital signature in whenever it's downloaded, and then it checks to see if the digital signature is the same. I mention that because of the fact that sometimes students will share the files, out of, trying to help somebody out, although that is an academic integrity violation. And so when they submit a file that they did not download out of Cengage MindTap themselves and work on it themselves, it detects the digital signature being different, and then it will flag it as an academic integrity violation. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to even get one online. You need to do it yourself, your own file. So we're going to take a look at the next instruction that we have. And let me bring that up. I've got a few of these open today, so I've been working on a bunch of them. Okay, so here's our PowerPoint one. And we're going to, we have it would already have the PPTX extension. And we would need these 3 files. Now I know right now they happen to be within my downloads folder. And they say that make sure that your first and last name is displayed in the presenter notes on slide 1. So let's look at the presenter notes on slide 1. And that's this part down here at the bottom. These are referred to as the presenter notes. Okay, in this little pane, it doesn't have an awful lot, it just only have 1, but it says the file specifically created for me. Okay, back to our instructions. So our instructions say, and hold on just a minute, let me close this one up. Wrong instructions. There's the ones. All right, so here we go. So our friend Jabari Basha is preparing to search for a new position as a web designer, and he asked to help him use PowerPoint to develop a visual resume so he can send to prospective employers. And we're going to reuse the slides from the support PPT 365 2021 CS1 3B new slides and insert them in the same order at the end of the presentation. So that's our first thing. So let's take a look at these slides that are represented in this particular file. So I'm going to go here, and I see it's in my downloads directory, remember? So I'm going to double click there, and it's going to open that up in PowerPoint too. And I'm going to click on Enable Editing. And then to insert these 3 slides, there's probably more than one way to do it, but here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to select the 3 of them. I'm clicking on the first one, and then I'm going to hold the Shift key down on my keyboard, S-H-I-F-T, and that selects all 3 of them. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do a copy on them. And then I'm going to swap off to the other presentation, which is here, and then I'm going to go to the end. And then I'm going to use paste. And let's see if they end up there. And it kind of looks like they do. Okay, so those were the 3 files that we've got. And I'm looking at this particular view. And let me just say, if you don't see this view when you open it up, then you can go to view. And this is called the normal view. That shows us our different slides that we have. So I have my 3 slides put in down there at the end. Again, what I did was I went to the support file and I grabbed up these three files. It's not quite easy to see that you have, if we click on the first one, you see it's highlighted. I'm going to hold the shift key down and click on the last one. And then I went to copy. You could also right click and go to copy. And then I went to the other presentation. And then I just clicked after number 4 there. And then I did, on the home, I just did paste. And it pasted them in. And it actually changes like the color scheme, it looks like, to match the theme that's being used in this one as opposed to the other one. But we will go and then check to see what is our next instruction that we have. So we inserted in the same order at the end of the presentation that we have, and now we're going to change the design of the presentation to use the theme and colors that Jabari prefers. So I'm going to change the theme to Office. All right, let's go back and grab up the presentation. So here, to change the theme, we're going to go to Design, and then we can see we have all these different themes, and I'm going to click on the one that says Office. And then I mentioned the fact that be careful where you've clicked at the time. I'm just going to the very first slide, and then what I'm going to do is click on Design, and then I can see all of these different things. A second ago, they were shown in black and white. I'm like, what's going on there? But at any rate, I'm choosing Office, which is the very first one. Now, it doesn't look quite as colorful as it was just a second ago, but we'll see. The next instruction that we have is to change the theme colors to warm blue. So let's go back to the presentation itself here, and then the theme color. So when we have our themes here, then there's different colors that go along with them. So first of all, there's where I got Office. And then what I'm going to look for is to see if we've got here, close this one off. Let's see if we can hit different colors. So used to be they would have them here, but there we go. All right, so now we've got colors, and then we want warm blue or blue warm. Let's see let me see if it's warm blue or blue warm. Must be blue warm. But I'll check that out. Okay, and then let's go back and see if that was true. Blue warm. Okay. Now we want to insert a footer to identify Jabari throughout the presentation, and we're going to put the slide number in the footer, and we're going to put the footer text as Jabari Basha. And then visual resume. Okay. And then display the footer on all slides except the title slide. Okay, so let's give that a shot. Let's go back to the presentation. And I'm actually going to go to slide 2. Haha. And that might save me, or maybe not, save me from work from trying to get the footer in correctly. But we know that we don't want it to be on the first one. And I'm going to go to Insert, and then I'm going to go to Header and Footer. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put slide number, and then I'm going to click under Footer. And the text they want us to type in there, I'm going to grab that up right here. Let's copy that. Get a copy. And then I want to come back into the presentation, and I'm going to paste that in. But you can read it for yourself, Jabari Basha Visual Resume. Okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to check the box for Don't Show on Title Slide. Now, that would have been the fix I could have done on the very first one here. And then I'm going to hit Apply to All. And so we can check it out by seeing down here at the bottom, although it's not that easy to see, but you can see it says Jabari Basha Visual Resume, and we have the number 2 here. And if I go back on the first one, I can see it doesn't appear there, which is what we want. And then here we have 3, and then so on. Okay, back to our instructions. On slide 1, we want to enter Web Designer in the subtitle placeholder. So let's hit a copy on this. And then let's go back to the presentation. So whenever we look at different slides, they have layouts. And if you click on Home, you can always check the different layouts by looking at slide layouts. And the one that's being used right now, of course, is a title slide. But this is how we come up with different kinds of slides. And on title slide, you typically have the title, and then you have a section that would be the subtitle. And I'm just going to click here, and I'm going to paste that in. But you could also type that in if you wanted to. And it should pick up the font automatically, according to what the theme would be. Now, let's go back to our next instruction. On slide 2, about me, we're going to insert a picture, and we're going to look at the content placeholder on the right and insert the picture that we downloaded. It's going to be in my downloads directory, and then we'll crop out the yellow rectangle at the bottom of the picture. So let's take a look at it. Let's go back to our presentation, and then I said that we wanted to do this on slide number 2, about me. So I'm going to click on this little icon to add the picture. And whenever I do that, I'm going to go. Now, it assumes that you would have the picture, of course, in your pictures directory, but I don't. Mine actually happens to be in downloads, didn't move it anywhere else. And then whenever I take a look at it, then I'm going to see, and this one must be the one that says headshot. So I can check the instructions here and make sure that's the right one. And it is. Okay. So, back to the slide. So I'm inserting that in. And that brings it in. All right. Now, there is, so it says here that, let me click on close, get rid of that little designer thing here. Probably, I will tell it to stop suggesting ideas for me. And let me just click off of that. And let me click off of that. Well, it's not going to, but at any rate, they want us to crop out, it looks like, that little yellow rectangle at the bottom of the picture. Okay, so we can do that. So when we come in and we select the picture, and this is not much of a yellow rectangle, but it's a bit of one. And so it kind of takes a little bit of dexterity to get this to work. But I'm going to click on crop here, and then I'm going to click on crop. Now, by the way, if you don't see the picture, for instance, you got to select it to let PowerPoint, Word, or any Microsoft product know you want to work with the picture. You have to select it just by clicking on it with your mouse. And then you click on picture format. And that comes up with all the different things you can do to the picture. And I'm going to click on crop and crop. And then it puts these little cropping handles around it. And I'm just, boy, it's not much to work with, but I'm going to kind of drag it up a little bit till I see that little yellow go away. Hopefully I didn't get too much. That might be okay. Doesn't look like much left. And then I'll click off of it and see. And I don't see a flash of the yellow now, so that's good. All right. And then let's see what our next instruction would be. Okay. So we got that done, cropping out the yellow rectangle at the bottom of the picture. With slide 2 still displayed, format the bulleted list as follows to improve its organization. We're going to delete the list item freelance web designer, which is redundant. Okay, let's go back into the presentation and then get rid of this one. So let's just delete that out, and then web designer kind of pops up to the top. Now let's take another look at this. And increase the indent of the list items 3 years in web design, 2 years in UX, user interface design, in the bulleted list. Increase the indent. Okay, so let's go take a look at that bulleted list. And I'm going to grab up these. And to increase the indent, I click on Home, and then I click on this button, which says Increase List Level. The other ways I could probably do it would be with the Tab key, but there we go. Now, if I don't like the way that worked, because it seems to me like it should have the same kind of indent, but maybe it's just because of the slide or whatever. Let's sort of hold off on that for a second or two. Maybe I have to work with that a little bit more. Okay, I'm not going to try to fix anything until they tell me to. So I did what I was asked to do, which was increase the indent. Now, let's go take a look at it. Change the font color of the entire list to blue-gray accent 1, darker 50%. Okay, so let's go back to the entire list. And so our font color, we're looking for blue-grays, accent 1, something 50%. blue gray accent 1, darker 50%. Okay, I'm looking for the one that says darker 50%. That says lighter 50%, darker 25%, blue gray accent 1, darker 50%. That's good. Okay, so I clicked on that. And you can't tell much difference, but it is, yeah, yeah. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the instructions and the entire list. Now, they didn't say anything about the title of the list, so I might find out later that I was supposed to do that too. Whenever I submit it, about me, I don't know if they consider, but I consider this to be the list part. I consider that to be the title beforehand. So they'll let me know. Now, bold the level list 1 items, web designer, highlights, and certifications. Okay, so let's go back to the level 1 list. And we'll go bold these. Web designer, bolded, highlights. Just hit double click on it and bold it. And we're going to bold that one too. And then on slide 2, also, we're going to animate the text on the slide as follows to make the content more engaging. So the content placeholder on the left, we're using a wipe. Let's take a look at what they mean by the content placeholder on the left. And then animate the text as one object. Change the direction of the animation from top. Okay, so this is the content placeholder. I think this is what they're considered to be the title of it. So I'm going to grab that one. And I may have to do that one too, but this is on the left-hand side, so we'll see for now. I'm going to go to animation, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the different animations, and these are, we have white, which is the one they want us to use, and they have these categorized, by the way, as entrance ones, emphasis ones, none, and I'm going to click wipe, okay, and then what I want to do is say animate the text as one object. So here, let's look at effect, as one object. Okay, so there we go. And they said change the direction of the animation from top. So I'm going to go to effect options and then choose from top. Okay, that does look better. And then change the duration to 1.5 seconds to give the viewer time to read the text. So the duration then is here. And we're just going to hit the arrow till we see 1.5 would appear. Okay. And then we can hit preview and kind of see how it will look. Yeah, that looks pretty good, I think. And the only thing I'm concerned about, I don't know, they really didn't say whether they want me to include that or not, but probably when I grade it, I'll find out if I did it wrong at that time. So if I have to, I'll go back and fix it then. Now, let's see what is next. So, let's go to slide 3 for professional experience. And we're going to insert some smart art. Convert the bulleted list to horizontal bullet list, and then change the smart art style to moderate effect. Okay, so slide 3, and then professional experience. Here we go. So, insert smart art. Convert the bulleted list. Okay, that's all of this right here. So I'm grabbing up that. And to the horizontal bullet list smart art from convert to smart art gallery. Okay, so let's just see where we can find our smart art. The first thing I'm going to do is click on insert, because this is where I would usually find smart art. And I'm going to try right clicking here just to see if there's something about convert to smart art, which there is. Oh good, that's what we want then. So I right click, and then I've got the smart art gallery that shows up. And then what I'm going to do is find the one that says horizontal bullet list. So, well, it happened to be almost right on it, I think. That's vertical. And this one, let's say, horizontal bullet list. Okay, that's what they want. Well, that looks better. And then what I'm going to do is change its style to a moderate effect. So all the different smart art styles are right here. And I'm going to see which one says moderate. Okay, that's subtle, moderate. Okay, there we go. And we're going to add the following slide note, including the period. So here, for our slide note, we're going to type in references available upon request. Now type them in, but you might just want to refer to the instructions and paste them in. We did this, we did that. Now we're going to grab this up right here. Just hit copy, and then we're going to come back in here. We come down into this notes area, which is sort of a strip that goes along the bottom of the slide, and you can just click and paste it in. They mentioned specifically to get the period in there, so I did. All right, let's see what our next instruction would be. On slide 4, for portfolio, we're going to format the largest picture, titled Sign Up to Become an Affiliate, as follows. We're going to resize the picture to a width of 3.5, align the bottom of the picture with the bottom of the Project 4 picture, align the right side of the picture with the right side of the Project 2 picture, apply the simple frame white picture style. Okay, here we go. So I'm coming here into slide 4. Wow. Okay. Now, that's a lot. Resize the largest picture titled Sign Up to Become an Affiliate. So let's see. Okay, it's this one. Now, they want this one to be resized. So I'm going to click on it first. It's one kind of almost in the middle at the bottom, it's greenish gray. And I'll go to picture format. And the size they want that one to have is a width of 3.5. So right now I had a width of 5. I'm going to make it 3.5. And then I'll hit the enter key, and that brings that down. Now, align it with the bottom of the Project 4 picture. So that means I'm going to click and sort of drag it down here so that it lines up with that one. And it's trying to help me. Notice I got this little red dot line up here all of a sudden, so that shows me it's lined up with them. All right, so I have that set. And the right side of the picture with the right side of the Project 2 picture. Now the Project 2 picture is here above, so that means that if I'm going to align that, then I guess I need to scoot it over some so that it looks like that. And then apply the simple frame white picture style. So here under picture format, here's our picture styles. They all do look like little picture frames, and we're going to look for one which is called simple frame white. And so I'm going to kind of go up. Well, that would be the first one. Okay, got that. And then we want to modify the animations of the pictures. Now, I'll be honest with you, that looks a little bit weird with me that it is not really the same size as the other ones. But, yeah, and when I applied that, it sort of has it leaning down. So I'm going to scoot it up a little bit just to see if it maybe looks more like the others. I suppose it looks a little bit better. But, and they may even mean that I'm going to be like that. I still think that looks kind of, scrolling down. Okay, let me see if I get that just right. I believe that's what they really want. I'll look at it again. Whenever you start to line these up, you can see these little vertical bars that start to appear and kind of help you to see if you're getting it at the right track. And so vertically right now, it's kind of showing me how to get it lined up with that one at the right. Okay, I'll leave that as it is. Maybe come down just a tad. All right, I think I got it in pretty good shape. The slide 4 still display, and this is our next instruction we're looking at. All right. With slide 4 still displayed, modify the animations of the picture as follows. Apply the animation applied to the Project 4 picture to the Project 5 picture. And then select all pictures and change the start setting to with previous. Well, I would have to see what the animation is that's on the Project 4 picture because I didn't set that myself. So, you know, it was already lined up for me for the Project 4 picture. So let's go and take a look at it. project 4. If I'm curious about its animation, we'll go to animation. And what I can see is it's using Zoom. So then I'm going to click on project 5. And then I'm going to find Zoom, which is right here. There we go. And then select all the pictures. Okay, so let's select them all. I'm going to click on this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. I'm holding my shift key down to get all of them at the same time. There may be a different way of doing that, but I clicked on any one of them, and then selected all of them by holding the shift key down. I could have done another way. Let me show you this again. I could click on this one. I could hold the shift key down and click on the last one, but it seems like that's not selecting all of them. So I'm just grabbing all of them up like so, making sure we get them. I've got little orange zeros. Okay. This has a 1 on it. Don't ask me why, but we'll probably have to fix that. Now, select all the picture and change the start setting to with previous so the animations play at the same time. So after previous, with previous. Okay. And let's see what's next. So for our next instruction, then we did this. Remaining on slide 4, insert and format a text box as follows. Okay, well, let's go back and then I'm going to just take that off. All right, like so. And then when they say to insert the text box, near the middle of the slide, which is on slide 4, insert a text box containing the following text, cjbasha.cengage.com for more. Okay, change the font size to 36. All of that. All right, slide 4 then. And so we will go to insert. And then what we're going to do is text box. So just a second. And hit it again. Insert and then text box. And it wants me to draw it. Now, so near the middle of the slide, insert a text box containing the following text. Okay, so I'm going to go pretty much to the middle of the slide. Well, it's actually there to the middle of the slide. Hold on. Let me show you where it was. See this right here, this box? That's my text box. And what they want me to do is to type in it. So I'm just going, if you click on it, then you'll be able to start typing. And we're going to put in here cjbasha.cengage.com for more.